Today's show is sponsored by Indie Film Hustle's Filmmaker Process. We provide filmmakers with professional services to get their films or series funded, finished, and distributed. For more information, go to filmmakerprocess.com. You've written a handful of horror scripts and thriller-esque scripts in your day. In your opinion, what makes a good, terrifying film or script? Is there an element or a couple elements that you feel that make that?
I mean, you need that kind of cool hook on a horror script, that's something, like a vacancy where it's like they're going into the hotel and their cameras, and now, it's going to be a snuff film.
It's terrifying. It's a terrifying concept because I think that's another thing. If you feel like you've been there or are going to be there, like, look, if there's a giant shark coming after you, like, chances are that's not going to happen to me.
Right.
But going into a motel on the side of the road in the middle of nowhere, there's a lot of people who've done that.
People done that, or an Airbnb now or whatever, you just go and stay and you just don't really know where they can, So that to me was it. You get a hook, and it's a hook that people can relate to. And then everything goes back for me to the characters. You have to then build characters that you care enough about, that the audience will care enough about, that it matters whether they get through it or not, that you're rooting for them. Because if they're people that you don't care, you might get some jump scares out of them or whatever, but you're not going to be an audience won't be tense. They won't be frightened because they don't really care what happens, the fate of the characters. And so
right.
that you have to write, characters that people want to love, want to protect.
Because if you think of, The Exorcist, Jesus, that's one of the, you want to save that little girl.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. So often, that's really what it comes down to. And any great, any great story is really about, you just want the people to be okay at the end of it. Even if it's like a thriller, Man on Fire, Denzel, and
so good.
Dakota Fanning, which is I just love that film. But it's these two characters that you care so much about, his journey, and then this little girl and the relationship, and then all the other stuff that happens. You're just so tense because you're not tense because the guns are firing. You're not tense because the cars are flying around. You're tense because the people you care about are in the car or getting shot at. And so you just always have to remember characters is the key.
Yeah, you look at something and everyone listening on the show knows that's one of my favorite scripts of all time, Shawshank. It's all about character because it's about, a guy who's been thrown in jail, and it's in the 40s, 30s, 40s, something like that. It takes place. 40, 50, 50s or something like that takes place, and it's it's a horrible name. If you think The Revenant was a rough sell, Shawshank Redemption's even more.
It's tough. I know.
But it's all about you follow Andy Dufresne, you following Red. It's all about character. The plot is fantastic. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. No, I feel like it's a near perfect film. I just love that movie, and it's everything about it. The world, the character, and even the stuff that was, I know, was written into because I've read the script, and the stuff that you think is just a director's choice, but it was on the page. The vibe of what this place feels like and what these guys were. No, it's wonderful. It's a fabulous.
Frank's okay. He does okay for himself.
Yeah. No, I think he's gonna make it.
I think he's gonna make it. I think he's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
To watch the rest of this interview, head over to bulletproofscreenwriting.tv.